All right. And we are now live. All righty. Welcome, everybody. We're just going to wait 1 or 2 minutes before we get started to let everybody join properly, and then we'll go ahead and get started with content when everybody is set up. It's so much fun to watch everybody flooding into the Tuesday webinar. This is our very popular webinar, Tuesday, beginning of the week. Everybody's gearing up to start with When I Work. Welcome, everybody. Once again, we're just going to wait 1 or 2 minutes to let everybody get joined properly, and then we will go ahead and get started with content. While we wait, it's always really fun for us to get to know you all better before we get started. You can let us know where you're joining us from and what kind of work you are scheduling and managing and time tracking for. You can let us know in the chat tool. We sent out a couple of messages, so go ahead and use that chat tool if you want to, communicate with us. Let us know what kind of work you're scheduling for, where you're joining us from. It's always a really fun way to start off this session. Cara and I have been working with When I Work customers for a long time now. So we have seen a ton of different users, different use cases and companies. We schedule for so many different types of companies. And again, we have seen so many setup types. So we'd love to hear what you're trying to accomplish with When I Work, because we probably have seen it before and probably can come up with a couple of really great tips for you all.
Looks like Janet is going to be doing some scheduling for educational classes. Definitely seen that before. Hi, Janet. Thanks for joining us.
Awesome. And as we get geared up for the summer and the summer season, we are seeing a lot of more seasonal work coming up from the groundwork, and we're seeing, ice cream stores, pools, all that sort of fun stuff. So if that is one of you, definitely let us know. It's always really nice to see the summer getting started and all the different types of companies that brings out. We always also have somebody chatting in from somewhere totally across the world. So we do schedule for companies all across the US, but also all across the world. Every session I have somebody chatting in like, hi from the Bahamas, or, hi from South Africa. And it's always just really fun to know that we do have the When I Work family just all across the world.
We have a few more chats coming in. One from Micah at Rocky's Premier Auto Wash. Jennifer is scheduling for a bookstore. And Andrew in New Orleans. So thanks so much for joining us. It's good to see you guys.
Awesome. All right. I like to wait as long as I can without wasting time to make sure everybody's set up. So I do see that we're kind of leveling off. So just to make sure that we get as much content as we can today, we can go ahead and I'm just going to welcome everybody one last time to the live Q&A. I know I say that so many times, but welcome everyone once again. We're so happy to have you all join, and we're really excited to help you get started with When I Work. So during the next 30-ish minutes, we are going to be answering your When I Work questions. We're going to show you some ways that you can save time scheduling, as well as cut down on your overtime costs and even cut down the time it takes you to run payroll. But the content is going to be directed by the questions that you all ask. So the questions are going to be flowing in, and depending on volume, we're going to get to as many as we can, if not all. But if your question doesn't get answered, or you have a new question, or something else comes up, you can always chat with us directly after or whenever you want. And we will go over how you can get in contact with us, how you can chat with us, and we'll go over that at the end and probably during the session as well. So listen for more information on that. If you're totally new to When I Work and checking out our different accounts and plans, we're going to outline how you can go about upgrading your account or checking out our plans at the end if you like the tools that we're going to show you today. And if you're just joining us to ask questions on your existing account, because you're already, grooving on your existing account, you're welcome as well. I hope you have any questions. We will get to those as well. So with that, we can go ahead and get started. The way that this works, just so you all know, is that this is a Q&A. So if you want to ask a question, you can put your question or share your question into the Q&A section of the webinar. So not that chat that we've been using just to kind of chat back and forth, but the Q&A, and that's where all the formal questions will go. So put your questions in that Q&A section at any time now or during the webinar. And Cara is going to go through those and grab as many as she can. And I will be sharing my screen and giving you more of a visual, demo of the answers to your questions. So you know what the heck I'm talking about when I'm actually sharing the answers to your questions. So as you all put your questions in that Q&A section, I'm going to flip my share over to my actual When I Work account, give you a little bit of a tour of what you're seeing if you're totally new, and then we can go ahead and get started with questions. So, all right, you should all be seeing my When I Work screen right now. I am just logged in as the admin on my account, or essentially just the manager or person who started the account. The view that you're seeing right now is actually pretty similar to what your employees would see if they were logging in on their computer, but they won't be able to have access to things like making the schedules, adding shifts, or adding any information or changing any settings. So just a quick review of the When I Work website. You'll have your top menu bar. This is where you can navigate all the different landing pages for our different tools. So our scheduler to create shifts, our attendance tool to find more information on timesheets and clocking in and out. And then of course, WorkChat, my favorite, our in-app messaging system. And then on this right-hand side here, this is where you're going to find all the information to adding any settings or adding any information into your account, like your employees, positions, or adding any of that information in. So with that little tour, I know it's not everything, but it's a great overview. We can go ahead and get started with questions.
Sure. All right. So the first question that we have is, I have the same schedule week to week. Is there a way that I can copy it or save it as a template?
That's a really good question. And we have a couple of different, tips and tricks on how to save your schedule, copy it week to week, and, other, tricks to make it really easy when you're scheduling shifts that maybe get worked a ton at your workplace. So the first thing, really simply, can I copy my schedule week to week? And yes, you definitely can. So using my wrench icon, if I go into the next week of When I Work, assuming that this past week is perfect and I just want to copy it over to my next week, I can hop into that next week, use my wrench icon, and then click Copy Previous Week. This is going to copy my entire previous week right on over into the new week. You can also do this employee by employee if you don't want to actually copy your entire schedule all the way over to the next week. You can just do that employee by using the little caret or down arrow right by each employee's name within your schedule. And you can just click copy Monica's previous week or copy whoever's previous week. And there's two other, copy and paste and helpful tricks to make scheduling easier that I definitely want to point out because they are truly lifesavers. So the first one would honestly just be copying each individual shift within your schedule. So what you can do is you can click your command key down, click into the shift, and this will copy your shifts, and you can drag and drop your shifts into any new cell that you want. So you can see how quickly and easily I just copied a week of my shifts over into all my different days. So if you have a ton of shifts that get worked a lot, definitely think about just using the copy tool and copying them into every cell that you need. Along with this, I also recommend making any schedule and shift templates that you need to be able to quickly and easily add in shifts and add in pre-made schedules as you go. So a shift template is basically just a shift that you get that you know gets worked a lot in your workplace that you want to save and be able to log into any day. So to make those, you can hover over this little storefront icon, click into Shift Templates, and then add in any template that you need and save it. Then back in the scheduler, you'll be able to quickly load those into any qualified employees. So right here, I'm just going to schedule a shift for Ross, and all of the shift templates that you've created that Ross is qualified for by his positions and tags are going to show up so you can easily schedule those in for the day. Then I also mentioned the schedule template tool, and it's pretty much just a shift template for your entire schedule that you've created. So if this was a schedule that's just perfect and I want to save it to be able to add into any other week or add into any other month, you could just create your schedule. Again, use this handy wrench icon and save your schedule as a template. Once you do that, you can go into any week, use the wrench icon again, and then load in any template that you've made. You can make a template for just a specific position like this one, or you can create your entire schedule and save that as a template. It's really up to you. You can layer them, add them together, mix and match. It's a really helpful tool if you're looking to save some time.
Awesome. Kind of related to that, Micah asks, instead of copying week to week, can I copy every other week, every third week? So maybe just talking about how we see other customers use schedule templates in that way, and maybe a little bit about repeating shifts.
Awesome question. I definitely should have gone over repeating shifts on our helpful, tips and tricks to make scheduling easier. So I'll go over that first because it's a really awesome tool. So if you don't want to just copy your schedule right into the next week, you can, of course, use the schedule templates, and I'll show how to do that in a minute, or you can use the repeating shift tool. So when you have your shift, you can click in it to edit, and then I'm going to show you the repeat options that we have. If you don't want to, again, use the copy and paste tool, you can have your shifts repeating. So what you can do is you can toggle on the repeat shift tool and then choose how often you want your shift to repeat. So potentially it's every 2 weeks or 3 weeks, and then you would just choose an end date for that repeat. So maybe it ends in June, and then you would save that and it would automatically repeat every 2 weeks in this case. So that's a really good option if you're maybe making rotating schedules or, any sort of repeating shifts. And then another, of course, great tool to use if you are making repeating shifts or a rotation or rotating schedule would be to use the schedule template tool. So again, when you load in any template, you can see that an option would be to create a rotation. So rotation 1, rotation 2, rotation 3, and then adding those into the weeks as you go. Like I showed you, just adding in any template. So maybe it's rotation 1 template. And then you could do that for rotation 2 on the next week, rotation 3 on the next week, or however it's set up for your workplace.
Great. All right, so next we have Amber is asking, how can I create shifts that employees can pick up and self-schedule?
Awesome question. Self-scheduling is kind of a hot topic right now. It's sort of, up and coming, having employees choose their shifts. And of course, for many businesses, this isn't new. And we definitely have a way that you can have employees pick up the shifts that they can work. And then you can be good to go and you know that you have the coverage you need for your workplace. So for this, we use the tool called OpenShifts. So in When I Work, like you can see here, generally you will be scheduling shifts directly out to your employees. But again, you don't have to schedule shifts directly out to your employees, and you can use our open or unassigned shift tool. So when you're using the OpenShifts, you can build out any schedule that you need, any shifts that you need covered for your day or your week. Once you have built out the coverage and shifts that you need, you can publish those shifts out, and your employees can grab those shifts first come, first serve. And this would be based on their qualifications. So their positions and their tags, they'll have to be tagged to the correct qualifications to be able to pick up the shift. So for a busser shift, for example, your employee who's only tagged to the cook position wouldn't be able to see or pick up any schedule for busser or barista. If you also want to use the open shifts with shift bidding or shift request turned on, you definitely can as well. And this just means that your employees would be able to sign up for open shifts. And then a manager or yourself would be able to go in and accept the person that they actually want to take that shift. So what you would do here is you would just require pickup approval for that open shift. And again, this turns on our shift bidding or shift request tool. Your employees would see all the available shifts, sign up for one that they would want to work, and then the manager would actually go into the system and choose which shift to give, which employee to give the shift to.
Great. Next question from Micah. Any tips for scheduling multiple sites? So maybe just the differences between multiple schedules and job sites and how those can be utilized?
Definitely. We have two main ways that you can schedule different locations or different sites within When I Work, and both are used for slightly different reasons, and you can also layer the two approaches together if you want. So the first way to schedule shifts at different locations would simply be using our multiple schedule tool. So the multiple schedule tool, like it sounds, just allows you to make multiple schedules within your workplace account. So down this left-hand side here, you'll be able to see the word schedule, and underneath you can click the drop-down arrow to navigate to the different schedules that you've created within your account. Only employees that are tagged to those specific schedules will show up on the schedule when you toggle over to it. So in my example, all my employees are just tagged to both schedules. But if you wanted to create schedules with totally different employees on them, you can as well. If you do have employees that are able to be scheduled at both locations or both schedules, you will see their other scheduled shifts on both of the schedules just to make sure that you aren't double scheduling them if they're able to work at both locations. So again, here is where you can toggle between your different locations or schedules. Multiple schedules are a really great option if you are, scheduling two totally different locations, maybe two different retail stores, two totally different coffee shops, potentially, or even creating teams within your workplace or trying to designate different departments within your larger workplace. I've seen this work really well at a golf course where there was maybe the pool staff on one schedule, then the golf staff on one schedule. That always works really well if you just want to split up your teams or departments. Then the second way that you can create sites or different locations within When I Work would be using our job site tool. So your job site tool is just used on the schedule. And essentially, a job site is just a tag that you can add into a shift so your employees can see where they are scheduled. So I'm just going to go into this shift to show how you can add that. I'm just going to edit this shift here. And basically, the anatomy of a shift in When I Work just consists of a time in, when you want your employee to arrive, when the shift ends, maybe an unpaid break and a position, and then, of course, the job site tag. This is where you can add the different location onto the actual shift rather than creating multiple schedules. This is really great if you are working with a ton of those remote locations or offsite locations. I've seen this work really well, especially for maybe a construction company. You can imagine they have a ton of remote job sites that their employees are going to, or maybe cleaning, janitorial service, and there's a bunch of different clients that you're scheduling for all your different shifts. So in those cases, I would probably use the job site tool to allow your employees to know where exactly their shift is being scheduled. Another cool little quirk about using job sites, if you are having your employees, report to those different offsite locations, is that when there is a job site tagged to their shift, your employees will actually get a little map icon, and it will actually map them and direct them to their job site if they have that activated on their phone. So it is a really cool way to know that your employees are actually just going to be showing up at the correct job site or workplace. And the job site tag can also be used for designating, any other information. If you don't have any remote job sites or anything like that, you can also use the job site tag to indicate maybe different clients or designating equipment to your employees. If you have, trucks and you want to designate which truck goes to which employee for which shift, you can use the job site tag for that too. I always like to mention that as just another way to use the job site tool if you want to. So those are the two ways that you would add different remote sites within When I Work. And I also do want to quick mention our Need Help tab and our Help Center, because we actually have a help article totally designed to help you decide if job sites or multiple schedules is right for you. And you can search for that directly in our Help Center. So if you do have a question like this after this session, definitely check out the Help Center, type in any questions or keywords that you're wondering about, and it will come up with a ton of different articles to help you. And then as you get started as well, we have a training center. So if you want some extra onboarding, some totally, helpful tools and videos to help you get started, check out our training center, because this is going to have all the training and onboarding that you need for your management team and also your employees. So just a little plug for our awesome Help Center. I use it every single day. And if you're getting started, this is really going to help you out.
Cool. Let's do one more here from Janet. If you can show us how to pull some reports, maybe just going through the schedule export and the timesheet exports.
Definitely. We have kind of a variety of different types of reports that you can actually pull from When I Work, just really depending on how you're using your account. So the first one, kind of most basic, is to use the schedule export. So again, I'm going to show you, of course, the handy wrench icon. This is basically just apparently the only icon that you need in When I Work today. But this is going to direct you to our schedule export. And for the schedule export, what's really cool is that you can really drill down on what kind of information that you want to export from your schedule. So you can choose which job sites or which tags you added to your shifts, which employees, positions, or schedules, and of course your time range and date period. And this is really going to help if you are trying to find any specific information found within your schedule. Then I also wanted to mention the timesheet export here. I'm going to hover over the attendance tool and click into timesheets. We haven't talked about this tool yet today, but this is our attendance or time and attendance tool. This is where your employees clock in and out for their shifts, and we kind of gather all their worked hours and produce a payroll summary. So at the end of your payroll period, you always will have the option to close your period and export your payroll summary as a report. And then we also do have export options and custom export options for all of your timesheets. So when you click into your custom export, this is pretty similar to your schedule export, and it really allows you to drill down and find the exact information and reporting that you need from your workplace and from your time and attendance tool. If you are using our scheduling and our attendance tools together, we also do have a larger reporting system where you can gather any reports that you need that are kind of automated and sent to you. This is where you can find what we offer, and these are really great reports to kind of take a look at what's happening in your workplace, which employees are kind of doing what, and kind of give you an idea and the ability to audit what's going on at your workplace. So if you do have any, questions about which reports we have, definitely hover over the storefront icon, click into reports, and it will list all of the reports that we offer right now. The two that I always think are the most helpful would be the attendance notice reports. This allows you to pull the report of any alerts that we have for your time clock. So early clock-ins, late clock-ins from the wrong location, things like that. And this is going to be really helpful to pull this information to help train your employees and to get a better understanding of what's going on at your workplace. So if you have any questions on those, definitely let us know and we can walk you through which one you might want to be pulling for what information you need.
All right. Looks like we just have one more question in the queue. Is automated reports cost more per month? So maybe just going over our plans and talking about our awesome small business plan.
Yes. Just for a background on those reports, you would need to have the whole bundle because it's going to be pulling information from both the scheduler and the time and attendance tool. So using those two tools together will allow those reports to be generated because we're using both the information from the scheduler and the attendance tool. So if you are interested in reporting for those reports specifically, make sure that you are bundling your account, and I will show you how you can actually go ahead and do that and just more information on your plans. And then we're going to wrap up with a bunch of really helpful resources to kind of like your starter pack to how to get started with When I Work. So stick around for the end and we will definitely go over all of that. So I'm quickly going to, again, swap my screen over. All right. So if we had any other questions of the different plans that we offer, we have just really whittled our plans down to make it super easy to choose what you need. And we kind of just give all the functionality of our awesome tool into that plan and the add-on. So we have our small business plan for up to 100 users. And this is going to include all of our scheduling and our communication functionality. This is going to help you with that shift coverage, messaging, and communication. And then if you are interested in using the time clock and attendance tool to capture all of your employees' work times and to streamline your scheduling and your attendance, then we have the attendance add-on. So it's really simple. If you want scheduling and you have under 100 users, small business scheduling is for you. If you are also interested in adding that attendance tool, having that clock-in functionality, then you just toggle on the attendance add-on, and this is going to include all that clocking in, clocking out, integrations, reporting, all that great stuff is going to come with it. So it's really simple to choose the plan that you need. And you can actually do this all from right within your account. So if you log into your account, hover over the gear icon here and click into account and billing, this is where you can find all of the plan information that we offer. And this is where you can actually go ahead and mock up your price and upgrade your account. So when you go into upgrade your account, you can choose which functionality and which billing schedule you prefer. Your users, you'll be able to see your price, and then you can actually just purchase from right within your account. If you do have any questions as you're maybe purchasing or getting started, getting your employees set up, you can always chat with us as you get started because we're here to help you onboard and answer any questions you have as you go. So how you can get in contact with us is you can actually log into your When I Work account and click this green chat bubble. This is going to connect you with myself, Kara, or our other teammates, and we'll be able to help answer any questions you have. If you get stuck anywhere, we can help with that as well. Or if you just need advice on which plan is right for you, we can help with that, and we would love to hear from you. So if you have any questions, please use that chat bubble. Or of course, our Need Help tab, if you prefer just to figure it out on your own. We have all of those, help self-help resources right within the Need Help tab, but do not hesitate to reach out to us. If you don't have an account yet, you can reach us at gettingstarted@wheniwork.com. And I think Cara maybe already has sent out all the information that you need to help get started. It's kind of a starter pack that we put together, and it has all the information on how to get started. So the link to registering for your account, a recorded demo if you need a refresher on how to get started, and then the links to all of our training and help resources. And then, of course, more of our plan information if you have questions on that. But if that doesn't cut it, again, please chat with us. We want to hear from you. We love to help. That's what we're here for. So hopefully this was helpful as well. And we look forward to chatting with some of you after. But for today, that is all we have. And thank you, everyone, for your awesome questions.
Thanks for joining, everyone.
Bye, everyone.